Hi everyone, I'm Lady Rose of Goddess Garage. I'm so glad you could be here today. I'm really happy to share this video with you. Today I'm doing a tarot deck review. I haven't done one in quite some time, but I'd like to get back into the swing of that because I'd like you guys to be able to come here and kind of see what a tarot deck is like, what its energy is like, what its sort of feel is like, what the cards look like, and all that kind of stuff. Because I know sometimes when you go onto these sale sites, you know, they'll show you the cover of the box and the back of the box, maybe if you're lucky, and then sometimes they show you the size thing. I'm like, I don't, show me what the cards look like. So this is what I am attempting to do, because I have a ton of decks, so I have lots that I could review, and I'd like to do that more so that you can come here and check them out. And if there's a particular deck that you're looking at that you'd like to see more about and see what its sort of energy and feel is like, put it down in the comments below. There's a good chance I might already have that deck, but if I don't, I am never really needing an excuse, but it does give me an excuse to buy another one. But yeah, let me know. And I am talking as a tarot master, what I like or don't like about a deck, how it feels, that sort of thing, what to expect from a deck. Excuse me. So this deck that I am showing is the Macabre Tarot deck. I'm super excited. Yes, it's coffin shaped is the box. It's a lot bigger than I expected, like the box itself. I've had this deck, now this is a hard deck to get a hold of. I've had this deck on order for over a year, and I finally found it in a little metaphysical shop called the Purple Door. My very good friend Linda owns it, and she was showing me some of the new things she had in. I was there to pick up something else that I had ordered, and when she showed me this, I'm like, put that on the list right now. I'm buying it right now. So I was really, really happy to acquire this. So I'm going to go through what this deck is all about. It's a dark deck. As you know, I love dark decks, but I also like some of the lighter ones too. But the cool thing you'll notice, first of all, outside of that it's shaped like a coffin, which is cool, is what the box does when you open it. So here we go. Isn't that awesome? I love it. So inside we have the book, and I will say from going through this deck, this is definitely a more advanced deck, and you are going to need the book. In fact, I'm going to be doing some shadow readings with this deck because this deck definitely has a lot of shadow aspects to it. And I do a lot of shadow work and helping people work through their shadows and whatnot. So you're going to need this book, and I'm going to be even using this book alongside when I do the first few readings that I'm going to be doing. So there's a lot of different things about this deck, and I'm going to go into them in just a minute here. So here is the deck itself. I'll go through the aspects. I'm just getting all the cards out here. And it's not a big deck, which is nice. Any of you who have the gilded deck will know that the gilded deck, here's the back cover. And then, you know, they're colorful on the inside, right? Like we've seen, a lot of people have seen this deck. A lot of people use that deck. And they're not a bad size tarot card. Don't get me wrong. I love huge, big, giant tarot cards too. But this is nice because it's, you know, it's easy on the hands. You don't have to stretch. I mean, it is a bit taller than a playing card, but it's about the same width as a playing card. And my hands are geared to tarot decks now. Over Christmas we played cards, and the playing cards were like, oh, these are so cute and tiny, like I'm not stretching my hand at all. So here we go. Here's the tarot deck. There's the back cover of it. I always go through the physical aspects of it first. It's gilded gold, which I love on tarot decks. I just love it when they're gilded in gold or silver or whatever it might be. Now, of course, if it's gilded, the way the gilding process works is they kind of do it all in one shot, right? So it kind of seals all the cards together. So what you want to do when you first get the tarot deck out is just peel all the cards apart and make sure that they're smooth. As you can see, I've done this with my cards. I've peeled them all out. Now, another thing about tarot decks that you must keep in mind is you do not open the box, get it right out of the box, and start doing readings with it. It's considered rude and disrespectful. It's a social faux pas in the tarot world. I do want to bust a little myth here, though. A lot of people feel like tarot decks need to be given to you as gifts in order for you to get them. Like, you shouldn't buy your own tarot deck and blah, blah, blah. That's complete BS. You can buy your own tarot deck. In fact, it's almost better because you're, seeing which deck you're vibing with, right? So when you get a tarot deck out, really what you're supposed to do is first you smudge it or cleanse it with crystals or clean its aura in some way, because there's a lot of people who've handled this deck, from the manufacturer to the guy putting it on the shelf in the store, whatever it might be. So you just want to cleanse it so it's fresh and clean and, no one's energy is accidentally attached to it. And then you want to bond with it. Now, if you've watched my other videos, especially under the lessons of tarot, I talk about bonding with your deck. So I'm not going to talk about it here. I'm going to link the video below about how to bond with your deck. And it makes for much clearer, more precise, more meaningful, and deeper readings when you bond with your deck properly. Okay. Now, the other thing about this deck is that it's got a nice feel to it. It's a fairly, flexible but strong card, right? And it's got kind of a nice matte finish to it. So it's got a good slide as well. When you're shuffling the cards, it's got a good slide, not too slippery, but just enough, And again, much better to shuffle these cards when you've peeled them apart, kind of thing, from the gilded gold that it has on it. So the deck comes with a book. Sorry, someone's sending me a text message and I'm being distracted. Okay, so it comes with a book. You're going to need the book. You're going to want to read through the book. I would almost call this an advanced tarot deck. So by that, I mean, even I'm going to be using the book for the first handful of readings or whatever. And I'm going to be doing shadow readings, shadow work readings with this, because this is definitely a deck that takes into account the shadow aspects of things. It is a darker deck, but brings light into your world as well. So I like those kind of decks that are dark, but they also incorporate that light. So again, like I said, you're going to want to use the book a lot until you get used to it. I love this deck. It's really kind of cool so far. And like I said, I'm going to be doing shadow readings with it because I sat with it for a while and I wanted to see what kind of readings am I doing? Because then you see the cough and you think, oh, I could do it on Halloween. But no, actually it's going to be a really cool one, I think, for shadow work readings, because I do shadow work normally anyways, but this is just going to bring another tool to my tool chest. But like I said, there's a lot of changes in this particular tarot deck that even I, as a master tarot reader, am going to have the book fairly close by just to make sure I'm getting what all the information for this deck. So let's go into some of the cards and some of the changes that have happened. So we've got different cards here. I'm just going to kind of go through them because they've already been shuffled and whatnot. So I don't have a lot of, here they are all in order. But there's the Chariot card. Like I said, dark. They're dark. Okay, Chariot card. The suits have all been changed. There's the Lovers, right? Kind of reminds me of the Addams Family cousins there. Okay, I'm going to put these ones aside. So everything has changed because even the court cards are changed. The suits are slightly different. There's different major arcana cards that have been changed as well. So this is, like I said, this is a tricky deck at first, but it's worth the effort to get to know it. But you really have to get to know it, and you have to spend 21 days getting to know it. And that's what the bonding is all about, right? So I'm just working my way through here, just seeing what we've got as far as suit cards and court cards. And here's a major arcana. I'm doing them first. As you know, I don't always show you all the cards because I've been to those videos where, you know, all they do is flip through the cards and it gets a little boring. And also too, when you buy the deck, if you want to add this to your collection, that's the whole reason I'm doing these reviews, so you can see what it's like, to see if that's a deck that would interest you. It will be more readily available once, I don't know, I guess it's been released. I mean, I pre-ordered it, so I've been waiting over a year, yes, but 6 months of that year was before it was even released, right? So there's the Hermit, for instance. What was I saying? Anyways, you know, a lot has been changed here, and I've been waiting a while for this one, but it is definitely worth it to get to know it. So take your time. And, you know, sometimes when people say, oh, I just couldn't connect with the deck, have you done the 21 days? Because that's what you're doing. You're kind of getting to know your deck. And there's the World. It's a lighter color. It's very black and white, this deck, with a little bit of gold, right? So like I said, it's darker, it's showing shadow aspects, but it does have some lightness to it. There's the Death card. So it's nice. It got a coffin behind there and butterfly, which is all about transition. You'll find there's a lot of snakes. Well, not a lot, but there's a fair amount of snakes in this particular deck. Oh, I want to show you that one, but that's not a major arcana one. There's the Star, right? So a little bit of a Medusa thing happening. I'm just looking to see. There's the Moon. I'm looking for the ones that have changed, because there are a couple that are like totally different. The Hanged, whoops, the Hanged. So that she was a mermaid, I guess, but that's the Hanging Man, right? Normally speaking. Let me see. The Sun is kind of creepy, but there you go. He's kind of like a little too happy. So there's the Sun. Justice. There's Justice for you. Judgment. And you'll find that in this deck that a lot of the elements of the traditional Rider-Waite-Smith, or like I said, I use the Gilded deck, which incorporates a lot of the Rider-Waite-Smith elements. This one has a lot of the main elements as well, but it doesn't necessarily have like a story. It's harder to draw a story out of these cards. So why I say this is a more advanced deck is it would be very good if you're using this deck to also have a very strong foundation in regular traditional tarot. Because like when I see this, well, there's a bit of a story here, but you know, it's got the major elements. Like I love that it's a rabbit, right? A little tongue-in-cheek rabbit from the Hat Magician, but it does have the infinity sign. It does have the 4 suits, and I'm going to talk about these in a second because they're all slightly different, right? And then here we go. Let me see. Okay, here's one of the changed cards. So this is Rigid. This is traditionally the Emperor in the regular tarot. So this is changed. You have to remember that the Rigid is the Emperor. The Ethereal, that's the Empress. Okay, so that's the Empress, traditionally the Empress in regular tarot. The Fool, that's an interesting one. Normally the Fool's a little more happy-go-lucky, but okay, we'll take that. The Divine, that's a change card as well. This is the High Priestess in regular tarot. I usually love the High Priestess card, and I like this card, but I'm a little sad that there's not actually a High Priestess. But I do like the elements that are in there. It does make sense for me. So the Guide is another sort of different card. This is a major arcana, and this is traditionally the Hierophant. So I like this. This is a great aspect of it. I love that they've changed this one in a lot of ways. It's still about the rules and the laws and those kind of things, but it doesn't have the same heaviness as the Hierophant can have. Also, the Hierophant usually involves church and priest and ministers, and that's not always like something that people identify with, but you can identify with a guide, right? So I like that. Wheel of Fortune, there's the Wheel of Fortune. So instead of angels that are usually up here, there's bats, which is totally cool, totally cool. Anyone, oh, there's the Devil. There we go. That's the Devil. There's a chain there. Strength. Remember I told you there's a lot of snakes in this one. And snakes have their own kind of mystical magic that's kind of cool. This isn't a major arcana, but this is the Ace of Daggers. Again, snakes. So there's quite a few snakes in this deck. Let me see what else we got here. I think that's about it for what I'm going to show you. Oh, the Tower. Here, I'll show you the Tower. So the Tower, like even in my gilded deck, which is a very colorful deck, looks more scary than this does. This kind of looks like an Addams house kind of family, or Addams family kind of house, I mean. This is a house that I would actually live in this house. So it's like, the Tower's not so bad. And normally it's like, oh, this is a life-altering card. So let's get into some of the suits and how they've changed. So we've got, I love this card, the 9 of Bones, right? So as you can tell from my dress, I love skulls. So the 9 of Bones, so that's a different take on the wands, okay? So the way I kind of remembered this when I first sort of was playing with this deck was bonfire. So bonfires, you know, are a shortened version of the original bonfires, okay? So that's how they started out. So keep in mind, bones, fire. So that's the element of the wands, right? Let me see what other ones. There's a 5 of Bones there. So again, not a lot of story to this, right? So this is where your foundation in the meaning of what this means. I know what the 5 of Bones means. I can picture that card in my gilded tarot deck, so I can sort of translate this over, or I know what it looks like in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck as well, and so I can take that and translate that over into this deck. So that's Bones. Bones are the wands, okay? And then we've got, well, here's the cups here. So this is the 7 of Cups. Here's the 6 of Cups. Cups are the same as they are. They're cups are cups are cups kind of thing. So they haven't changed that one. So that's good. There's the 4 of Cups there, okay? Just to give you an example of cups. Now, daggers. We've got daggers. I showed you the ace there because it had this snake on it. So there's the 5 of daggers. Where do we have some other daggers? There's the 10 of daggers there. And again, not a lot of story. So you need to really know your tarot deck so you can translate that onto this and then take that with the book meaning and translate that, you know, kind of mash them together and, you know, get your meanings from it. There's the 8 of daggers. And like I said, I know exactly what that card looks like in my Gilded Tarot. I also know exactly what it looks like in the Rider-Waite-Smith. So I can fall back on that, which is great because it really helps with some of these advanced decks that don't have the traditional sort of meanings and whatnot. Now, so we've got daggers, which are swords. Cups are always cups. And then bones that are wands. So now we're looking for what traditionally would be the pentacles. So here's the 10 of crystals. That's normally the 10 of pentacles or the 10 of coins, whatever you might call it. So in this deck, it's crystals that are sort of the money element or the earth element, right? So there's 6 of crystals. Remember that guy? He's throwing money out the window. He's got the scales. He's balancing them. We've got the 8 of crystals. And they go back and forth between being dark and light kind of thing, which is nice. I find this deck actually has a really nice balanced feel to it. And yeah, so those are some of the minor arcana suits. 3 of Cups. I like some of these shadow figures that are in here too. They're kind of, you know, there's some humor in this if you can see it. 7 of Bones. but also like there is that dark aspect that let's really take a look at some of your shadows, but they do it in a very gentle kind of way almost. And then I show you the Three of Daggers, which is never gentle looking. So there's the three, which is, you know, the Three of Swords, right? That's always like disappointing and heartbreaking. More snakes, Two of Daggers. Yeah, and then what else do we have? There was another one that I was looking at that was like, oh, I should show them that one. That's kind of cool. Where was it now? I mean, this is a cute one too. Seven of Crystals, right? You know, happy little skull flowers. Who doesn't like that in their garden? Then we've got the 10 of Bones. The bones going through his hand. You know, like the 10s usually look really good in tarot, right? It's the 9s that kind of have that, you know, oh, that doesn't look good, or sometimes the 5s, right? But this 10 of Bones, like it's funny, but the book is very good at showing you the hope, showing you the light. Yes, you've been around, you know, painful situations. You've gone through painful situations. You're healing from trauma, and this is just another layer of healing that's happening. You've been on a long journey, and now you're back home, and you're safe, and you're warm. So it acknowledges and validates some of the shadow aspects of ourselves. And shadow aspects of ourselves are often either things we don't like about ourselves, like, you know, maybe I'm a little mean about this, you know, or maybe I'm, you know, kind of selfish sometimes, or whatever it might be. So we tend to hide those parts of ourselves. We don't want to be parts of those selves. But really, hiding doesn't fix it. It's acknowledging that that's there, that maybe that's a go-to for you. And now you validate it, and then you are able to change it. And shadow aspects are also, you know, hurtful times, things that have hurt us. It could be heartbreak, it could be grief, it could be trauma, it could be abuse, whatever it might be, whatever you've gone through. A lot of times we try to take that and we shove it under the carpet, so to speak. And we don't want to look at it, right? Because if we don't look at it, then it doesn't exist. But then it just keeps getting bigger and we're not moving through it. You're never going to get over it, especially a lot of like extreme trauma or extreme abuse or big grief and that sort of thing, right? And it's okay. You're not going to get over it, but you can move through it and you can live life again. It doesn't seem like it when you're going through it, but this deck is very, very insightful in seeing that you've done another huge journey in your life, and here you are ready to celebrate. So go to it, you know, and it reminds you about self-care and all this good stuff. Now, the court cards have also changed. So this is interesting. So the pages are terrors. So there's the Terror of Cups. So I think of it like this. This is how I associate. So the pages are always young. Young people, might be a young woman, it might be a young man, but they're childlike, right? They're just sort of starting to learn how the world works. And children are terrors. Not really, but they can be. You know, we've all been to that. If we're a parent, we've all been to that place where your kids is driving you nuts, right? And you're such a terror, right? So that's how I associate. Okay, terrors are the pages. They bring the messages. And then I'm going to try and go in order here. So then we have the Nightmare of Daggers. So the knights are the nightmares. Now, the way I remember that is he's a knight on a horse, and there's nightmares. So two different knights, but the same sound, and that's the actual knights in tarot in this particular deck. So the knights are nightmares in this deck, okay? And then we've got the queens. Where are the queens? Okay, here's a queen. We've got the Haunting of Bones. So the queens are all haunting, right? Okay, so they're kind of scary. They know things. They can walk through walls. You know, all the things women can do, especially if they're queens. So the queens are hauntings. And then the kings are interesting because they're the massacres. So Massacre of Crystals, that's the King of Crystals. right? So the way I remembered it when I first started using this deck was Massacre Masculine. So that's the king, right? Now, I don't know how you read, but I know that I don't always pay attention that much to gender necessarily. I mean, I do and I don't, but I'm saying what I tell a lot of clients is, you know, like when a king comes in, it doesn't mean a man's walking into your life, or when a queen comes in, it doesn't mean a woman is necessarily walking into your life. It could be someone that's walking into your life, or it could also be you, right? Like you could be the king, whether you're male or female or otherwise, but you have that energy of the king, right? And you have the energy of the queen, right? And to me, the queen really is the most powerful one out of the two, king and queen. I mean, chess, right? Queen's the most powerful piece on the board. So I'm always like, it's always good to be a queen. Always good to have queen energy. Shit gets done when the queen energy is around. So those are the four, not all the same suit, obviously, but those are the four court cards. So just to reiterate, the Terror of Cups is the page, the Nightmare are the knights, the Hauntings are the queens, and the Massacres are the kings. All right, so I hope you enjoyed that review. Let me know if you have any questions about it. Let me know if there's any other decks that you want me to review. Please subscribe to my channel. I would love it if you could do that. Ring the bell so that you know when new videos are up, because I'm hoping to do them more regularly. And join us on Facebook if you like for Mystic Monday. It's every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm in Canada. So we do an astrology report of what's going on in the heavens. We do some card draws a lot of the times, little mini readings, and we'll do all kinds of various things. We sometimes do new moon rituals, full moon rituals, Sabbats, that sort of thing. You can join us live on Facebook every Monday at 7 p.m. or you can watch the replay, and you can get your own personal card done and then watch the replay. So watch and find out how that can be done. I'll put my Facebook link below if you want to join me on Facebook for that. And we post it up on this channel 24 hours after we've done the Mystic Monday. So don't feel like you have to be here on Mystic Monday on Facebook. You can always watch it on replay. And like I said, you can get your own personal card draw or whatever without having to be live. So I always say if you make a donation, I'll draw an extra card for you. So if you make a donation, then you're guaranteed to get a card drawing as well. You know, if we run out of time, we'll still do it. We'll go extra for those that have made donations. And then you can watch it on the replay when it's posted up here the following day. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing and liking and ringing bells and making comments and all those great things. Okay, take care. Bye.